right, welcome to Season 2 of the Sporting Chance Podcast, your home for all things falconry and unconventional hunting techniques.
This podcast is brought to you by MountainStateFalconrySupply.com. Check out Heather McNeamer's store for your East Coast falconry goods.
And also, this podcast is brought to you by MidnightFalconry.com, the makers of the tightest braided equipment on the market.
Check out supporter of the show, Sean O'Neill's Kennel, Clover Creek Canine on Facebook. Your source for performance canines since 1983.
And let us not forget our boy, Seth Roy, at NorthMountainGoshawks.com. And if you'd like to support the podcast, visit SportingChancePod.com for all of your merch needs.
All right, Madison, thanks for coming on the Sporting Chance Podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad to be here.
Great to have you.
So, Madison, how's it going?
Going good. This summer I got a dog. I got a Decker Terrier.
I saw that. Yeah.
And he is actually like blown my mind. He's probably the best puppy that I've ever trained. As far as like manners go, he listens so well. I think it also helped having the dachshund, who's 2 years now, and the dachshund kind of keeps him in check. But yeah, he's a phenomenal dog. He's super, super gamey, runs the trails really well. Like I'll take both of the dogs and run trails, in the summertime so that they're exercised, obviously, and still get exposure outside. And both of them, they run perfectly. They're always chasing squirrels and then coming right back. So I think he's going to be a really great addition to the team. He is now getting to where he needs a shock collar because he's almost 6 months. And I'm like, okay, pal, your puppy days are over. It's time to bring out the e-collar.
Where did you get him from?
Dixie Decker Line Terriers. I
I've
believe
seen them on Facebook.
Yeah. That's where Jeff Fincher got his dog, I believe, or David. David got his dog there for sure because that's Boone, and he got him. And they're great dogs. Yeah.
Is that what attracted you to that breed?
Yeah, I actually was going to get a dachshund from you, obviously, because I asked you to get on your list. And I just saw her post about the terriers and that they were going to be ready in a couple weeks. And it was kind of like an impulse decision. I was like, hell yeah, just like, let's mix it up and throw a terrier in there. And I'm really glad that I did. I'm super stoked for the season because I also have a red tail that I'm keeping through the molt. So he will be, he'll already have a season under his belt. And then I'll have the dachshund who's got 2 seasons and then the brand new puppy. So really excited for this season coming up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So when did you get into falconry?
I was about 14 years old whenever I discovered falconry.
Just a couple years, that's it?
Yeah, just a couple years. Yeah, only 15 now. So, but I started way back then and originally started with volunteering at the American Eagle Foundation, which is, do you guys know Dollywood? You know Dollywood.
Yeah, of course obviously. I know Dollywood. Casey might not.
I know I know Bollywood.
Dollywood, like Dolly Parton's theme.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
No, but in all seriousness, I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Have you ever heard of Dolly Parton, Casey?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Dolly Parton has a theme park in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
What is it, like just all like wheelchair accessible, like super slow rides?
Do you know how many people don't know that Dollywood exists? And it's also like one of the biggest tourist places.
They just sell applesauce for like $12 for like a little cup.
They jam kids into barrels and roll them down the mountain.
Yeah. That's interesting. So they got eagles there?
Yeah, so they have like a different, well, not now. They're kind of like affiliated, but anyway. It's a nonprofit organization that does rehabilitates eagles and then has them. They have a bird show and stuff. So I started out volunteering there, and I did the bird shows at Dollywood for a while, and then I actually started hunting and started my falconry journey. And so yeah, I've been in falconry for like 14 years now.
Nice, good for you.
I didn't realize you had been in that long.
Yeah, I still feel like a kid that like doesn't know anything though. Like all the time. I'm always asking other people questions, asking advice from other people. Like falconry is just so vast. There's always something to learn. So I don't know. Sometimes I still feel like a kid. I'm like, you know,
We
let's
should
ask.
always be students in
Yes,
this.
absolutely.
I think we all could learn a thing or two from Madison's attitude. I want to hear about the bird shows. Like, so what did you do there? What was like, how would they run it?
So it was like a 2-person program. So like me and this older guy, Mike Acuff, who's actually my falconry sponsor. He's taught me. He and I did the bird shows together. So we would like take turns being on stage with different birds. We had golden eagle, bald eagle, great horned owl, vultures that we flew over the audience, Harris hawks we flew over the audience, a kestrel. So lots of different things. And we just went through like this whole spiel of, birds of prey facts and stuff, just educational stuff. And it was actually a lot of fun. It was exhausting because it was like a 11-hour day, all day, doing shows. You do 4 shows a day. And then, you're running back, putting all the birds back. You have, you have 4 bowls of food for each show because everybody has to get fed each show. And then you're weighing, making sure that birds are going to cooperate by the last show of the day, which is always the one that they overfed a bird and then it flies off and then you have to go chase it. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun back then. I learned a lot.
I bet that helped your falconry having to manage their weight so tightly.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, now I am horrible. I'm like, you look good to me. And sometimes I don't even weigh food. I've gotten better, but like, once you start to learn a bird, you just don't really weigh food. I don't. But I'm pretty successful.
Yeah, so. I don't think a lot of people, I know very few people that weigh the food.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Like, I'm glad I'm not the only one because like I'll just like hand it and I'm like, yeah, it's about 45 grams. We're good.
Yeah. Yeah. The only time I'll weigh food.
Quail leg.
Yeah. Like, a quail leg, at least the ones from Seth are like 12 grams or something like that.
I was going to say 14.
Yeah, 12, 14. Yeah, Seth's are a little small. So like, I know that. And then like, but like, yeah, when people start talking to me like, yeah, I weigh everything out and everything's timed.
Or noting things. I'm so bad at noting things now.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just like, because I'm like anti-school because I was homeschooled. And I'm like, when people start talking to me about that stuff, I feel like they're like trying to overcompensate for something. I'm like, you must like, why are you like so invested in like the time schedule and like weighing every gram? I mean, some people like stuff. Some people like it.
Yeah, a kestrel's different, obviously.
Yeah, micro is different.
Yeah, but yeah, with any other hog, yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I got the owl on a shelf perch in my conditioned house, and I'm weighing him twice a day just to see where we're at. Yeah, and he's like,
that's how I did with my kestrel.
Yeah, he loses no weight and just sits there, and I still weigh him every day because he's so small, and I get paranoid.
Yeah, I would.
You have to.
Those pellets are tough, big, heavy owl pellets. Yeah, that's a whole other dynamic you got to worry about with owls.
Yeah, the pellet, and then like since they don't have a crop and the food just sits in there, that's why I was surprised last night. He killed 2 mice, like back to back, and I would think like after he ate the first one, because somebody was telling me once they eat, since it goes straight to their stomach, they kind of like shut off. Like 20 minutes later, he was like getting all riled up, looking at me. So I was like, "Oh, you want another one?" So then I cut the thing loose and. It's like pissing all over my hardwood floors, and the owl's like up in the rafters looking down at it, and I'm like filming while my wife is trying to wash dishes. It was hilarious, but
that's awesome.
So he was up on the rafter in your
dude. That's like his little spot.
Casey's living room has got like this big, like tall ceiling.
Yeah, my house is huge.
He lives in like a 4,000 square foot house, but. He's got this like the living room's this tall ceiling with this beam that runs across.
In the chandelier that's like 20.
Yeah, the crystal chandelier.
Yeah, the crystal chandelier. Yeah, you forgot all that. Yeah, no, my house is small, but so he sits there and then he flies from there back and forth to I got a nice buck that I shot years ago, and he flies back and forth. Nice. And then he comes down the ground, and he loves to bother my wife. My wife is like his favorite, and she'll be on the couch like on her phone, and he'll just like a little ninja right next to her. Yeah, he's the coolest thing ever. They're literally like, I can 100%. I probably said it a million times on this video. I can 100% see why somebody would become an owl person. Like, they're so funny and cool and like playful, and you can just like grab them and like start scratching them, and they like close their eyes, and it's like
I've never had like a good owl. I've always had like old imprint owls that are mean.
right. Yeah. Well, this one was like Aaron was keeping it. Aaron's like, we can say that, right? Aaron was like, yeah he's like, he like is keeping it alive, like feeding it every 3 hours. So he's like, if you want this thing, like you have to come right now and get it because this is really annoying. So like from day one, it was like just being hand fed, and then I got it, and it was like I was like, how am I going to keep it? I had like the heat on in the summer driving back to my house. I was so paranoid it was going to die because it was so small.
Yeah. I'm so glad he lived. That's so cool.
Yeah, he's amazing. And
he was being paranoid, but when they're little, they're like baby screech owl is like just a tiny little.
Yeah, I would be paranoid.
Yeah, it's like a golf ball. I'm like, I'm supposed to keep this thing alive.
I would wake up in the middle of the night, like I'm sound asleep, and then I'm just like,
yeah,
exactly.
and
I'd jump up and offer it some food. Yeah.
We had this owl that we worked with at the American Eagle Foundation at the Dollywood shows. That her name was Owless, and she had one eye that was a cataract eye, so it was like really grayish blue. The whole thing was solid, and she was so mean. And me and Mike used to make up like all these stories about like horror movies, like Owless. And it's just like this great horned owl that comes out of nowhere and kills people. And she was so creepy, dude. You'd put her in her kennel, and you'd close the kennel door, and you just see that one eyeball staring at you. And you're like, this could actually happen.
Yeah, owls, they have that way about them. Like the first time, because this thing's like playful and like all cute. And then as soon as I gave it its first baggie, which I'm not going to say what it was, like he like turned into like a little psychopath.
It was a hummingbird.
Yeah, it was a baby hummingbird. No, it wasn't. And I just chucked it on his perch, and he just like his eyes just went wide, and he just like froze and just stared at it, and then like jumped down and killed it. But it was like so like just the way he switched. It was like kind of creepy.
You can, like, see it click in their eye, and you're like, "Oh God, there it is."
And I was telling Aaron, I served that barred owl in my yard the other day, a quail.
Yeah.
And that thing was creepy because I served it a quail, it grabbed it, then like fumbled with it and got scared and flew away. And then I put the quail back in the cage, went back to doing my nightly cleaning and checking all the animals. And then I'm cleaning like this, and then it's just like I just like felt like something watching me. And I look back on the same fence post that it was on when I saw it, and it's just back at the fence post after flying off, and it's just staring at me like this, like a serial killer.
Yeah, you look like that.
I was like, oh, shoot. I was like, I better get you some food. Take it easy. So
okay.
Yeah. And it took the quail and ate it, which was cool. So
that's cool.
Yeah, owls are neat.
Sometimes with hawks, you'll use darkness to get away with things. Like I'll go in there at night.
Oh yeah, you can't hide owls.
Yeah, you can't do it with owls. But a buddy of mine was telling me he tried that with a great horned owl. He walked in the dark and was like creeping around, and then he's like, "Wait a second." He turns and looks, and it's just staring at him.
That's a bad idea.
A really dumb mistake.
Yeah, really bad idea.
Oh my God.
Madison, did you ever meet Dolly Parton there?
I did not meet Dolly Parton. But my biggest brag is that I did meet Reba McIntyre, and she told me that she loved my hair.
Well, of course she would. A fellow redhead, right?
Yeah, obviously. Like, I can't. That's obviously the greatest compliment of my life. Reba McIntyre saying she loved my hair.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty cool. Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah, but not Dolly, unfortunately.
So, did the bird shows? What? I mean, do you want to talk about why you left? I have no idea. I'm not leading in.
I got pregnant. And left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good. That's a good excuse.
Yeah.
They've asked me to come back a couple of times, but it just doesn't work for my lifestyle now. Like right now I have a really good job with the state, and I have a lot of time that I can like flex and go hunting as much as I want to in the fall, in the winter. In the summer, we're always at the lake. So yeah, I'm really blessed with my job right now. So I'm really happy, but I do miss like working with the birds all the time, but, I've got my red tail that I'm keeping through the molt, which is actually the first, red tail I've kept through the molt. I've kept Harris hawks before and kestrels. But the red tail's the first one. And he is so well mannered. It's actually shocking. He's like such a good bird.
How do you keep him?
He's just tethered in his mew. I wanted to free loft him, but he kept hitting the sides so much that he was getting like little sores on his feet. And so I kept having to medicate it and they would never go away because he just kept baiting at the doors. So I tethered him. Actually, my son, I don't know if you guys saw that picture that I posted. I had my 7-year-old hold the hawk while I traded out his equipment the other day. And it was adorable. And at one point, Clay, he was holding my son's Clay. He was holding him like so loose because he was like kind of scared. And I was like, buddy, you gotta grip onto him, you know? And then he grips really hard. And I'm like, okay, you know, don't kill the bird's feet, you know? And at one point he had let a foot go and I don't know how, it was like superhuman power. I got out of the way just fast enough and got the bird away from him so nobody got hurt. And he kind of teared up a little bit. And I looked at him and I was like, Clayton, how many 7-year-old kids do you know that's holding a red-tailed hawk for their mom to like fix equipment on? And he started laughing. And I was like, dude, you're so cool. Like I'm so proud of you, you know? And I love that so much because I feel like he's just going to grow up and be like, he's going to be like wrestling birds at one time, you know, and be like, this is what I've always done. Like, this is so easy.
That's awesome.
It'd be interesting to see if he gets into it.
I hope so. I think right now it's just like so normal for him that it's not cool. Like it's, I don't know. He likes to go hunting sometimes, but then it's like, it's cold or the bird hits him and then he doesn't want to go anymore. So, you know, fair. That's only happened once.
Our kids are all like the same age, more or less. My daughter's 5, he's 7. Leo is how old, Casey?
It's 5. He's 5. Yeah.
Going.
Yeah, that's so cool.
6 of November. He's not. Yeah, he's like in the middle. But he's been hit a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And I'm like that, you know, like those memes where you see like when you hit your brother and then he starts crying and you're like, no, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's like that. It's literally like that. Like literally like that. Like the bird, like, you know, just like makes a little pass at him, like, you know, an imprint, you know, just figuring out where she belongs and stuff. And then he gets all upset. Like, no, it's okay. It's okay. You're fine. Just don't tell. It's our little secret. Don't tell him.
See, my son doesn't have to worry about that because mom is the one that's inflicting the pain on him.
Yeah, exactly. So. It's perfect.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, it's cool that like the life we get to give our kids. Like they're definitely not, you know, like I go to these.
They're not normal.
Yeah, but it's like normal is like what? Coming home from school and like playing on an iPad, you know, like our kids are like doing cool stuff. Like he's out there feeding my rabbits, giving the chickens food. He's having battles with the rooster that's trying to murder him. That rooster is actually like really dangerous. Like those are really scary. He's not a nice rooster at all. Like he'll like really hurt. And my son's got like a shovel.
He's as bad as my bantam.
He's like the same as your bantam, but like 5 times this. You saw that rooster. He's a nasty sucker. I put my work boot out in front of him, like trying to be funny, like so he could hit my work boot. And he smacked me on the inside of my, like right where my ankle, like through my boot, and it was bruised. Like he's a friggin' tough rooster, man.
Oh,
but my son's been mauled by roosters, gotten smacked by goshawks, bit by the rabbit. We got one rabbit that's mean when she has babies. Bit him. Yeah, you got
those red rabbits bite, man.
I got one female that like I literally like take a 2x4 and like push her in the corner when I'm trying to change the food because she'll lay her ears down and like rush at me with her little buck teeth open, like running at me. Yeah, she'll bite you. Yeah, she's nasty. But the rest are sweet.
My daughter's been bit by snakes and doesn't realize it because I don't acknowledge it. I'm like, nope, we're not going to get scared of snakes. In your house? Yeah. I'm like one day I picked up a black snake and it kind of bit her. Like they'll kind of half-heartedly bite. And I could tell she was like, what? And I just ignored it. I wasn't like, oh, no.
Yeah, it's good.
So you're like, no. We're not getting afraid of snakes. Let her go.
Yeah. Once you start doing that, then they cry and then it makes it worse. If you just make it like, he'll run and smash himself. Like he'll trip and fall and smash his face on the ground. And I'm like, I look at him for a second and I realize he's not like, you know, really hurt. And I'm like, all right, get up. Let's go. And he starts looking around for somebody, you know, because they look.
They always do that look around to like see if anybody's paying attention. Yeah. Like, are you going to care?
And then if you look at them and you go, oh, are you okay? Then they start crying. So if you just ignore them, they don't cry and they just get up, dust themselves off, and keep walking.
Yeah, it's normal.
Exactly. It's all about the way you do it. So I want to know, Madison. So you went from did you get into the volunteering at the Eagle Rehab Center, like with the goal of becoming a falconer, or you just like birds?
Yeah, I had the goal of being a falconer. Mike Acuff, again, who's my sponsor, whenever I met him for the first time, he told me
Gay Cuff? Acuff. Oh, sorry. I was just wondering.
No, when I met him for the first time, he told me he wasn't going to sponsor me. He was like, I'm done sponsoring people. Like, he was older. I guess he was in his, I don't know how old he is. So he's 70 something now. So he's in his 60s. And, said he wasn't interested in it or whatever. But then he started like asking me questions and we started talking. And then I left, and like an hour later he called me and he goes, I'll sponsor you. And then now he's like a dad to me. I call him dad. And he's like one of my best friends. But he told me that if I was serious about getting into falconry, that it would be good for me to have like, some, handling of birds and stuff like that. So he got me in the volunteer position. And then I got hired on at that point, like after I volunteered for like 6 months or something, I think I got hired. He started me in that. And then after I did that for like a year, he started sponsoring me in falconry.
So you got some free labor out of it, is basically.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's like a pro tip.
I got bit by oh my God, that job was so crazy because all the eagles at Dollywood, behind the stage of like the Wings of America show, there's this huge mountain that's called Eagle Mountain. And it's all like fenced in, and that's where all the non-releasable birds go up there. But every year we had to do physicals on these birds. And so we would have to go up there and catch them up. So it'd be like, I don't know, 6 of us running around a mountain. It's literally a mountain like this. So you're running like sideways, breaking your ankles, chasing down bald eagles and catching them up. And it was either 12 or 13 bald eagles, I think. And there was this one named Kathy, and she was a small eagle, but she was so vicious. Like you could catch up any of the other birds, and like, you have to be careful, but you're not like scared for your life. Well, Kathy was like scary and nobody wanted to get her. And me being me, I was like, screw this. I'll get her. I'm not scared. Well, she pierced my nose completely. Like her total beak went through my nose and out the other side. And I was so mad, but I wrestled her and got her back and got the physical. I mean, I could have put like an earring through it. And now I regret it because I'm like, I should have put a stupid earring in my nose and just be like, I got it by a bald eagle.
Yeah, you should just put a stud through there like you're at Claire's or something. It'd be perfect.
Right? It'd be great.
I would have been like,
I'll put a twig in there to like hold it.
Is it against the law to kill an eagle right now?
Yeah, it's really tempting in the moment.
Yeah, because apparently the bite, especially with like bald eagles, like they're real bitey from what I hear.
They're very bitey. They're hardly footy at all. Very bitey. Like, and they hiss when they strike at you. They hiss like really loud. So, you're holding. Oh my God, there were huge eagles. There was an 11-pound eagle named Widow. Her name now is Majesty because they didn't like Widow or whatever. And you would have to hold her out like this. It's 11 pounds on your arm. I'm not big. So you're like doing this. And then she's this tall, so she can reach you anytime she wants. So you're dodging her, striking at you the whole time. Oh my God, it was ridiculous. Some of those eagles are so mean.
Snake type shit. Right, Aaron?
Yes, very much so.
Snake type shit.
We're gonna put that on a t-shirt. That was hilarious.
I like that.
And we went ratting. Long story, but it was funny.
Inside joke. You should
it's an inside joke. Yeah, everybody should have been there because it's so fun. So you started falconry, so you got your first red tail. Aaron's kind of like in charge. What we'll just keep going down this route, like just chronological order. Yeah. So you got your first red tail.
Yeah, I got my first red tail and I lost it.
Okay.
The first time I ever took the bird out hunting, I went out with a master falconer.
Who was it?
I can't name names for legal reasons. No, I'm just kidding. But he'll probably kill me. So anyway, he said he'll take me out, and I was a kid, and it was like 10:30 in the morning on a winter day, and it was a clear sky, and the thermals went up, and so did the bird. And I'm standing there, and I was like, this is my first time literally hunting by myself, and with this guy who I think knows stuff. And the bird went up and away, and he's standing there looking at it. He goes, "Yeah, you better pull your lure out now." And I was like, "No!" We spent hours looking for that bird. Lost it. It was gone. It got reported in Cades Cove like 4 weeks later, and everybody was like, "Here's a bird with Jess's on it." I didn't have a band on it, so I was like, "It's not mine." I don't know. But yeah, it was a whole thing. So I always tell that story so that like new falconers coming in just know like you're gonna make really bad mistakes, and don't trust people that call themselves master falconers, because there's no reason to say that.
There's like zero reason to say that you're a master falconer.
There's no reason to say that.
The bar for that is so ridiculously low. It's hold a license for X amount of years. Congratulations, you're a master falconer.
Good job. You did a good job keeping up your paperwork.
Yeah, I think some states make you you have to apply for it.
Yeah. In North Carolina, you have to submit a letter, and you have to have somebody.
Yeah, the Tennessee's the same.
Sign on to say that you should be another master falconer has to say you should be a master falconer, but it's such a circle jerk out there. You're going to find somebody who's willing to do it. Yeah.
In Jersey, I just re-upped my license, and all of a sudden it was a master falconer's license. I was like, do I pay extra for this? No, you just get it. Easy.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's so many, we have so many conversations with people and stuff. Like, there should be a criteria. You should be able to sponsor if X amount of people vote, that you should be able to sponsor other people based off of your performance.
I like that.
Yeah, but then I like it too. The idea of it is good, but then if there's somebody that's a good falconer, but it's not buddy with everybody, then they can shun him and make him not, vote that he's not allowed to sponsor people. You know what I mean? It could be, it's like a slippery slope.
Yeah, because people are so nasty. So
yeah, our community is, we're known for being very loving and accepting of everybody, but but sometimes human nature takes over. So
yeah, for sure.
We're known for our kindness and our big hearts. Yeah. So Madison, first red tail. So how long did it take you to get your second red tail?
So I had to wait till the next season to get my next red tail. Yeah,
that was probably the longest year of your life.
Oh my gosh, especially as a first year and feeling like a failure. The whole shebang you go through. So yeah, that was really tough. But then the second bird that I had, I did really well with. And I had red tails primarily until I took a year, 2 years off whenever I had my son, and then got a kestrel. I flew a kestrel for a while. I loved that. I really wanted to get another kestrel this year. In fact, I went trapping whenever we went to we had our squirrel meet, whatever, down in Nashville, and us and a couple other falconers went trapping for kestrels and never could get any on the trap. But glad that I didn't, because otherwise I'd be losing my mind right now. It's just not the time to fly a kestrel. But then obviously transferred to Harris Hawks, and then now back to the red tail, and probably going to stick with red tails for a while, though I do want to try my hand at a Cooper's at some point.
You never had one?
Never had a Cooper's. Mm-mm.
Yeah. I like Cooper's Hawks. They have a bad reputation, but I think the people that talk shit don't actually know what they're talking about. They haven't actually flown one or handled one.
Yeah, that's what I've kind of thought too. I've done a lot of reading on accipiters and stuff, and I do want to give it a try, but I want a passage bird to start with.
Yeah. Casey, I know you struck out with the Cooper's Hawk. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, I was 12 years old, so. I was I got my general, and someone was like, "I got a Cooper's Hawk," and I just took it. Zero idea what I was doing, and just
was it adult?
No, it was it was an Emmy, but it was just what Jeff was saying last week about like Groundhog Day. It was literally Groundhog Day. But like looking back on it, like we were making progress. I got it hopping. I got it like coming across the yard.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my red tail. You know what I mean? Like if I tried to like
suplex you for your mistake.
Yeah, he like literally powerbombed me into the ground, like because I messed up the bird. That was literally like my punishment. So like, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? What were you? And as he's saying that, he starts like grabbing me, and I'm trying to like sprawl, and he's D1, so he just smashes me on the ground. He's like, why you know, like that was literally like my sponsor apprenticeship was like me just getting thrown in the woods, like when I did something wrong. And but yeah, it was like Groundhog Day, but we were making progress, but I just didn't realize what it was supposed to look like. Like the bird is obviously a passage. It was skittish and it was scared, and I did a really good job manning it. But it was like, I just didn't realize like the fear aspect in some Cooper's Hawks is just really not going to go away. Really. You just kind of have to manage it and just kind of mitigate it. And I just was not really prepared for it. So I just cropped it up and let it go. And then Aaron got lucky. He got one good Cooper's Hawk, and now knows everything.
Now I'm an expert on Cooper's Hawk.
They say like one out of every. It's like with like prairie falcons. It's like 1 out of every 10 birds, or 2 out of every 10 birds, is like a gem.
Yeah.
And some people will trap, guys out west will trap prairie falcons until they find the one that like does whatever it is that they're looking for, and like, okay, I'm keeping this one.
I've definitely heard that about prairies. The Cooper's Hawk I took somebody out hunting with me, and they go, "You're so lucky." And I was like, because actually this person got one from the nest with me. We got him at like a weird, like right before branching stage.
Okay.
So 3 people got Cooper's Hawks from that nest. No, excuse me, 4, because there were 5. It was a big old nest. 4 people got Cooper's Hawks. Mine was the only one. Man, I'll just say it like it is. Mine was the only one that did anything and took any game, right?
Well, see, the odds that I just said make sense. So,
yeah. So
there's 5 in the nest.
I got the one good. I got the one good one. Yeah.
You got the one. No, I'm just kidding.
But no.
It was just luck of the draw. That's all it was.
One of the people that got one, we went out hunting, and they had already thrown in the towel on theirs, and we were out hunting, and mine was just doing awesome. She would take slips and come back and land on my glove, like a boomerang. And this person goes, "You're so lucky."
It's all luck. That's it.
It's like the American Aquarium song. The harder you work, the luckier you get.
Yeah. That's like looking at somebody that's like really fit and saying, "You're so lucky." It's like, no, I built this.
Madison, I think when I met you, you were flying a Harris Hawk.
Yeah.
So it was you had flown other stuff for several years before you got a Harris Hawk.
Yeah.
Right.
I've flown red tails, and then the Kestrel, and then the Harris Hawk.
Okay.
Yeah. And
at this point, that was kind of a while back at this point, right?
Yeah, it feels like these last few years have flown by. That was 2022. I guess I flew him. I flew him into 23, I guess. And then I sold him to a breeder in Virginia who's actually had he's still hunted him with his mated pair or mated hen. And he's flown them together through the season. And they've also had eggs that I believe he's had one hatch so far. I need to check in with him. But yeah, so I'm really excited about that because eventually I would like to have a bird from him just because I think that would be cool. But also I'm kind of Harris Hawked out. I like a red tail. I had a blast last season with my red tail, so I'm kind of on that train.
Tell us more about that.
About what? The red tail?
Being Harris Hawked out.
Oh. I guess okay, so to be fair, I have only flown Harris Hawks like singly. So I've never flown a cast. I did have 2 birds at one time that I wanted to fly, but the female was a hand-me-down and she was a bitch and I just hated her. And so I got rid of her. But so the Harris Hawk that I flew, O'Malley was his name. The older that he got, like the more I flew him 3 or 4 seasons. And the older that he got, the more quirks that he picked up. Hair socks are really weird, and they like have these weird little things that they do or that they hate. They end up hating something for some reason. And he just decided to hate my son out of nowhere. And my son has always handled him like the entire time that I've had this bird. And out of nowhere, he decided he hated him and would hit him all the time. And so that just got irritating. And I was like, I can't risk my kid losing an eyeball just because I want to hunt a bird right now. So there were other things that he did too, though. And then I had a hand-me-down hair sock that I just kept for somebody that I did fly a little bit. And he hit my ex-boyfriend in the face pretty good. And I've never been hit in the face by any of my birds, by the way, but other people have. So I don't know what that says about me. But yeah, hair socks just got to, and I could never catch squirrels. We have so many squirrels here, and rabbits are kind of hard to come by. You have to work really hard for rabbits. You have to work hard for squirrels too. But yeah, I just wanted something that I could catch more game with. So that's the only reason I say I was hair socked out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Casey's never flown hair socks. I've flown them.
You've never flown a hair sock?
I flew one like to help like abatement like situation like with a friend of mine, and it was like a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, like, listen, you can say, oh, you never flown one. Don't talk about like I'd never seen the bird before in my life. He says, go get the bird from the weathering area, take it, put the transmitter on it, go throw it up, and it'll follow you. And I go and do it, and it follows me. And then I call it back to the glove, and it comes back to me. It's like, how hard could this species of bird really be to fly?
They're like a dog. They're so easy to train. And I loved that about my bird when I got him, because I thought, like, this is a dream. Like, he was literally a dog to me. And he would like jump around like a dog too. He's just such a good bird. But yeah, they're just very basic, I think. That's nothing against hair socks or people that fly hair socks.
You ready for the hate?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the hate comments.
Well, you very much impressed Teddy Moritz in Maryland. Was it?
I did, and that was O'Malley that I flew with. Yeah, that was his first season. Yeah. Oh my gosh, she sends stuff to Clay all the time. Like, she sent him this huge book that I know is like ancient. And I told him, I was like, don't you ever do anything to this book. It's precious. Yeah. And like hand wrote a note to him and everything. And he sent her drawings. He's really into art. So he drew her like lots of dachshunds and sent it to her. Yeah. They have this cute relationship.
Yeah, Teddy's amazing. And it's nice, yeah. But the art thing, you got to nip that in the bud early, though. With your... If my son starts drawing too good, I start, hey, go outside.
Hey, he could be a tattoo artist.
Hey, what are you doing drawing so nice? Go outside. Go in the mud.
Well, he says he wants to be a plumber. So.
Oh, good. Yeah, all right. Smart kid. Okay, never mind. I take it back. Smart kid. Smart kid.
He can draw.
All right, he can
draw a little.
As long as he keeps talking about, as long as he keeps talking about blue collar, he can keep drawing. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, she was very impressed, and I was impressed too. Your bird was amazing. I mean, that was a really good hunt. We had a lot of fun.
He was a good hawk. We flew him for so long. Like, I don't know if you remember, by the end, he was like dragging his wings.
It was brutal, and we were like working that cat briar, and he just kept like making passes, and they would just pop out, pop back in, and you could tell he was getting a little frustrated. But he was right over us the whole time. Bunch of random people there. Yeah, he did really good. Yeah,
and it was the first time he flew like in front of people. He was a great bird. I still like, sometimes I regret selling him, but then I'm like, move on.
They're all the same. You can get another one.
Yeah. But yeah, that was such a fun meet. And I met so many good people. Obviously, like, Teddy is the highlight, like, highlight of my life to like be friends. I'm friends with Teddy Moritz. Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah, Teddy's the best. Yeah, it's amazing knowing her. And then you impress. I think I don't impress her very because I noticed this about Teddy, that she doesn't like people that have like a temper. And I very obviously have a temper, and I think it kind of like I think she thinks.
See, you wear your redhead temper on the outside. Mine doesn't come out until you really piss me off, and then you really want to stay back.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I don't know what my deal is, especially when I'm in the field. And I'm trying to get that first kill. I get like possessed, and I gotta.
It's deep.
Deep I wanted to talk
trauma.
about that.
What did he say in while we were ratting, Aaron? What did George say? You got the devil in him.
He said, he said, you have the devil in you and you're possessed or something like that.
Possessed. God.
Well, because it was like 4:00 in the morning. And everybody was tired, and we just kept killing rats all night. And I couldn't stop. I couldn't shut it off. It was so fun. I just could not shut it off. And I was a little buzzed. I had a little buzz going, so like it was even worse.
Oh, yeah,
and it was so fun. It was, that I could literally do that every night. That was so much fun.
I really want to go. I really wanted to go last year, but I just couldn't make it happen.
You're welcome anytime.
Yeah, we're gonna make one more trip out. Probably
friends, because we're friends.
Because we're friends.
Yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah. But what, Aaron? Sometime in the summer, we'll go back out there with George.
We're definitely going to go at least one more time.
Yeah. So if any of you guys are listening or interested, put your applications in, because not everybody's welcome.
You have to be.
The problem is with the ratting is that there's a sweet spot of the right number of people and dogs. And with too many people, too many dogs, it gets like really crappy. Like it's almost like gang hawking Harris Hawks at that point. It's like, sure, two or three Harris Hawks is great. Have you ever been out and seen people like throw up like 7 Harris Hawks together?
No, not that many.
They do it.
Like you guys have at least heard of it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's ridiculous.
My sponsor used to fly 4 at a time by himself.
I've done that too.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That seems really chaotic to me. That's not what
I would have 4 Harris Hawks and 4 dogs.
Oh my God.
It's too much.
Yeah, it's a lot. But it's different though, because with 4 or 7 Harris Hawks chasing a rabbit, you actually do increase your odds of catching stuff.
For sure.
But with too many dogs while you're ratting, they literally get in the way. Because you got dogs which are pack out, they're all looking at each other. And you got one that's killing a bunch, so then they all cue in on that dog, and they're all kind of following that dog, and you got a rat running behind everybody, and they're all looking the wrong way, and it really just becomes like more of a hassle, but it's still fun. But that's why I said, put your applications in. We got a couple people that want to go.
We'll consider.
I mean, listen, you do whatever you want. But I'm just saying, for our little rendezvous, it's we're gonna couple people. I got a couple people on the list that are coming that are going to be new, and it's going to be fun.
We're talking to George about doing a ratting meet in the city.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah. It's like teams of people, and and we already have it planned out because we learned our lesson last time. We got to have like one set of dogs and people for the beginning of the night, which starts at 10, and then we're gonna go have dinner, have a couple drinky drinks, and then we have the real ones pull their dogs back out, and then we go till we got back to the house at birds were chirping. It was so fun.
Seriously, no joke.
That sounds like a blast, yeah.
And on the way back, we're just walking down the sidewalk, middle of town, right? There's the only vegetation is in people's like little flower beds, like under their windows, between the sidewalk and their window. Yeah. And we see a freaking rabbit just sitting on the sidewalk, cottontail.
Oh my gosh, how bizarre.
Yeah. And then a couple blocks later, we see a fox run across the street in the middle of the city. Nowhere for it to hide. Like, where's it living? I have no idea.
That's so crazy. I don't know how they live like that. They must be under people's porches or something. Just sneaking around.
Yeah. It's a trip.
That's exactly what I was thinking. They're definitely under people's porches, or they're cruising in from that park that's nearby, because I drove through the park to get there. Yeah. It's a pretty big park. But anyway, moving on.
So Madison, I'd imagine the circumstances for why you were there and why the same reason we all idolize Teddy is the dachshunds, right?
Yeah.
So what prompted you to get your first dachshund?
Actually, I take that back. So I just went, let's see. It was William Phillips that invited me up there, I believe. And then I talked to Casey too. I actually didn't know that Teddy was going to be there. I didn't even really know much about her. And then I got introduced to her, and she really liked me, which was really cool. And we just walked and talked the entire time, like the whole meet that we were all out there. Like, she was walking and talking with me. And she told me I needed a dog. And I was like, okay. And she got me my first dog through Wilderness. or wilderness runs or whatever. And but yeah, I didn't have like any intention of getting a dog when I went up there, or even like talking to her necessarily. It just kind of happened, and she made it happen for me to get a dog. Like I wouldn't have had it. And I got it within like 3 months. Like she immediately was like, "You're getting a dog."
Put the word in, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happens if Teddy puts the word in.
Yeah. So it was amazing. And that by far, that was quick, that got killed.
Tell us about that if you don't mind.
Yeah. So first of all, that was the best dog that I will probably ever have in my life. You know, it was that once in a lifetime dog.
You got lucky.
Yeah, I got lucky. I got real lucky. But yeah, he was just incredible, and he was so on fire for game. He had a drive like I'd never seen, and it was also my first dachshund, my first real like hunting falconry dog, because prior to that, you know, I'd always just beat brush by myself. So yeah, being introduced to having a dachshund in the field just completely turned my world upside down. Like for the better, everything changed, and I was like, I'll never not have a dachshund. I fell in love with everything about him. So I hunted him for 3 seasons, I believe. And then at the very end of the season, there were woods that were all across across from my house. So where I am, there are like a string of houses, and then across from us are woods. And I had permission to hunt those woods. So we were always in there, like doing training, drags during the summer. He learned to hunt in those woods. Like that was our place to go. And the kids had left the back gate open, and he shot across the road over there and got hit by a car. And yeah, it was the most devastating. Like I threw up. Like it was so bad, you know. And obviously, you both know how that feels when you know your dog dies, and especially one that changed your world. You know, it was definitely a devastating experience, and one that I know every falconer experiences. You know, and that's one thing we all have in common is losing these animals. So tough.
Mm. Thank you for sharing that. That's brutal stuff.
Yeah, that was rough. The little Tango I've got now, he's from the same. Well, he's your.
Yeah, I've got his sister.
Yeah, how big is she? Because he stayed at 8 pounds, and he's 2 now. He's tiny.
Yeah, she's probably 7-8 pounds.
Yeah,
she's Casey. She's the red dachshund you like so much.
Yeah, I got a couple good videos at the field meet down by you. Really good dog. She's got that real long schnauz on her.
Yeah.
Roman nose.
We were both, Aaron and I both were kind of worried about them in the beginning. We both said that they were kind of dumb. And then they turned it on though. Like Tango did. He just turned it on. Now he's a phenomenal dog. Amazing hunting dog.
She was really slow to start. And
skittish.
Really skittish, yeah. And she came around as she matured, just like it sounds like he did.
Yep, exactly.
He's a phenomenal, or excuse me, I haven't seen Tango. I saw him when he was a puppy.
Yeah.
But my dog Lily, she's a phenomenal dog. She's red. Do you have a thing for red dogs? Do you insist on red dogs as your hair?
Yeah, I like to keep everybody looking the same. You know?
Yeah, your son's a redhead.
My son's a redhead. I have a red-tailed hog.
Yeah,
I gotta keep everybody red.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious.
I named her El Rojo Diablo.
El Rojo.
I like that.
That's her paper name, and so we call her. There's a demon named Lilith. So her name is Lily, short for Lilith.
That was the female Harris hawk that I had. I named her Lilith, and she was, in fact, a demon.
A demon, yeah.
Horrible.
This dog is it's like the most ironic name ever because she is the sweetest dog in the world. Yeah. All right. So then you got yourself a Decker, and you told us how thrilled you are with that.
Super thrilled. His name's Tap. And he's really great. I can't wait to see him run. Deckers are so weird, though. Like, I don't know. Have you guys ever had a Decker?
No.
Neither. When they run, it's like their little back legs just like bounce. They're so weird and funny. And his tail, when it wags, it goes up and down instead of sideways. So I swear to God, I'll take a video and show you. It's like literally up and down. It's so cute.
Are they you can see their butthole at all times,
That's
right?
what I was just going to say. I don't really know if I want to see the video of a Decker wagging his tail.
No, from the top, guys. Let's be tasteful.
Yeah, they seem to be a pretty popular dog these days. A lot of people are running them. And to be honest, just to be perfectly honest with you, and I'm not like I'm not trying to like because I'm a dachshund guy. I've heard mixed reviews on them.
Same. Okay. That's why I'm really curious to see because it's like a Cooper's dog. You know, you're going to get mixed reviews depending on who's doing the training. But for me, I mean, it might not work the way that I want it to, but as far as what I can see right now, I feel like I'm going to have a good team because I've got the dachshund that he goes to ground, and the terrier is more sight. He's not very nosy. Like he doesn't really use his nose so much, which I'm training him to use it because I want to hone that skill. But he's much more eyesight focused. And so he's constantly alert looking in the trees, and the dachshund's got its nose to the ground, constantly running the ground. So my hope is that it's gonna be a really cool team working. And the terrier is fast. You know, the dachshunds are adorably fast, but their legs are this big. You know, the terrier is real fast. So I don't know. It might be chaos, and I might be like, I hate that I did this, and but I don't know. I don't see it working out that way. I also am always really proud of my animals, and I always think that they're great. So yeah, I don't know. That's just me. I
just think that when you add like almost any other working dog with a dachshund, it always works out.
Yeah, you think so?
I mean, I went with because Tom's got he's got a Springer Spaniel, Lurchers, a Beagle, and I run my dachshunds, and it's like all bases are covered. You know, you got like the Springer that's just making like zigzags across, and then the dachshund's like doing the trailing, and then anything that like cuts loose, the Lurchers are looking for it. And the Beagle is just a puppy this past season, so I'm hoping this season with me and Tom we can get the Beagle going on some nice trails. But even ratting too, right, Aaron? When we go ratting, it's like the dachshunds are doing their thing, the terriers are doing their thing. It like they're all complement each other.
It's a proper
bulbery, they call it in Europe, innit?
Oh God, yeah. I think I'm always going to be a dachshund person. I won't ever not have a dachshund. I want another one, even still, and I have 2 dogs, and I shouldn't get another dog. I can't, should never do that, but I probably will.
2 dogs, rookie numbers, get it up.
Yeah, I probably by next season I'll be like, I'm ready for a new dog. I need a new project.
Yeah.
That's what we all do in the summer. We all get antsy and need a new project.
Yeah, some of us are burnt out by the end of the season, and then like literally like just a month of not hawking, you start thinking, I could get another bird. I could do this. I got 4 goshawks outside for some reason. Am I going to be able to fly all of them? Probably not. Am I going to try? Yes.
Of course.
And I got a screech owl. So I'm at night now. We're going to go. I don't know. It's just. In the summer, we all think we could do anything. And then our schedules hit during hawking season. You're like, oh, my God. Yeah. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Ladies, Casey's going to be single next year, so hit him up. New Jersey.
It's a very good possibility. To be honest, the birds are not the problem. It's the dogs. The dogs are a pain in the neck. Yeah, because
the dogs can be a lot.
They're a lot. Yeah, especially dachshunds because they're always barking. And I got these vibrate collars. And I got back from a wedding. We pulled it. So listen, I live in a nice neighborhood. Like, my closest neighbor is like 100 yards away. We pull in the driveway at 12:30 at night, and I get out of the car and I hear this screaming through the night. And my neighbor's like, "Shut those fucking dogs up! Shut them up! Enough already!" Like this.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, yeah, they're annoying, and then the battery dies on the dog Aaron gave me. Dog will not stop barking nonstop.
Do you keep them outside?
Yeah, I got to kennel them up outside, and then at night I kennel them up like inside or in like a shed where it's. I could probably just like people just say just leave them out there, but there's deer and there's raccoons and stuff like coming through the yard, they're just going to bark all night long.
They're going to bark at you.
Yeah. And I can't, like, I don't want to, you know what I mean? Because I can hear it a little bit in my own house, and they're close to my house. So I don't know how the neighbors are hearing it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It echoes, dude. I can be at my neighbor's house down the street and hear my dog barking.
Yeah.
Because it echoes so bad.
That's the one thing. The one thing about dachshunds that like is a little bit irritating is that they're real yappy.
Yeah.
And it gets really annoying.
There was somebody posted something on TikTok where they built this like clear tubing that went up over a fence, like a privacy fence, so the dachshund could run through and like look at all the neighbors. And every single comment was like, that's exactly what a dachshund needs, to be on top of the world looking at everybody so it can just keep barking and never stop.
Like it would like amplify the bark too through the tunnel.
It's just echoing down the tunnel.
Yeah, it's annoying. But I run a tight ship around here, so Maggie's she's getting a little slack right now, but Aaron told me, because she's not even 6 months old, right, Aaron?
Yeah, she's probably about
So I'm like, I was always told like before you start tasing them, you wait until they're like a year old, but I might have to start giving it to her.
I always started at 6 months, but I always just do it in. I only buzz them in the very beginning when we're in a hunting situation where we're like in a mock field position, so that they're only getting, the collar is always going to be something that they look forward to because they get to go run around outside. And then when they get the discipline buzz, then it's not so dramatic. Because if you're just shock them in the yard, you know, they're like, oh my God.
Yeah. Exactly.
So dramatic.
Yeah. Some of them are real. Some of them are like tough as nails and they do not care. And then some of them, like, you shock them once and they're like terrified for their life.
Yeah. But I don't know about you. Mine have always been like real dramatic about it.
Yeah. I had that question for Teddy. My question was, because my house is just, it's all a bunch of oak trees. So there's a bunch of squirrels around, and the dogs would just sit at the base of a tree and bark nonstop.
Oh my God. I would be so mad.
It's obnoxious. But I asked Teddy if it was okay to discipline them, like to shut them up. And she goes, yeah. I was like, I don't want to discourage them from barking at squirrels. And she said, they know the difference between hunting and being in your yard.
Okay.
And so, you can argue with Teddy?
Right. If Mama says, that's what we do.
Yeah. I'm not about to argue with Teddy. So I've every now and then I'll cycle a, what is it, Casey? Garmin. I sent you the link. Garmin bark collar. So certain dogs will be the barker for certain times. And I can hear all of their barks.
They know too, and they take turns. They're like, hey, Maggie, it's your turn now. I already took all this.
Right. But usually if I can identify who the barker is and I put that collar on them, that'll stop it, like for a good while. I have freaking 8 dachshunds and I can identify everyone's bark.
Yes, they're so distinguishable.
I can hear.
Okay, I have a question for you too. So let me tell you about this. So my dachshund obviously digs holes under the fence, and but he only does it every once in a while. Like, he's very strategic when he does it, and he also will show me where he's digging, because like he'll come up to the deck and he'll have like dirt and mud all over his face, and so I had already blocked a hole. Like one day, I caught him. I disciplined him and then blocked the hole. And then like 2 days later, I saw he was all dirty again. And I go, Tango, I was like, where were you digging? And he literally leads me to the old hole and stands there like, here it is. But there was no fresh dirt that was moved. And I looked at him and I was like, that's not the hole, Tango. Where's the hole? And he took me to the real hole where it was freshly dug up and stood there. And then he hung his head down like, here it is, Mom. And I was like, what the fuck? What is wrong with you? Like, what kind of dog tells on itself and like literally takes you like, here it is. This is what I've done.
Yeah. It's like with dachshunds and what they're bred for, it's like almost impossible to keep them confined with a fence.
A fence. Yeah.
You need to do like you got poultry or something. You got to do like the 3 feet out and cover it. Like, that's the only way to stop them from digging.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on now, because I'm actually going to end up, like, I want to shorten my yard so that I can do that exact thing. and like actually lay the fence down in the ground. But God knows fencing is so expensive right now.
It's absolutely insane.
So for now, I have to trust my dog to tell me where he's digging a hole so I can block it because he shows me.
Did the tariffs hit fencing? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I guess. Lumber's been expensive for a long time.
Yeah, I think they just, I'm noticing it with the plumbing. It's just, it went up for COVID and they're just, oh yeah, we're still having, it's like a bunch of BS, man. It's just, like water heaters went from $475, my price for 50 gallon, to like almost $800, and like everything's back to normal now, and they're still $800. I'm like, okay, yeah, and it's not me because I'm just passing it along to the customers, so I feel bad for the customers. Like I'm not eating anything, you know what I mean?
It's awful for the customer, dude, to be able to have to tell them what the prices are of things.
That's literally my biggest like anxiety with running my own business. And you helped your dad run his business, his plumbing business. Yeah. So we're kindred spirits.
Yeah,
it's like,
we know.
It's like I have to look at these people in the eye and tell them it's like $3,000 to change a water heater. Like I'm like, I feel like a scumbag, but I'm just like, listen, this is how much it costs now. It's not my fault.
It is what it is.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't have like that. I don't have like the shark, like dead eyes, like soulless. Like I feel bad for people.
It's that big old heart of yours.
Yeah. I just care too much.
You just care too much.
I just care too much.
It's free. This one's on the house, guys.
Yeah, right.
I got you.
Some people. So so you got the Decker, you got the Dachshund, which I actually think that'd be a good combo. Mainly because
I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, mainly because the Dachshund's there, and because it's a red tail, not a Harris Hawk. So I think you're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure.
So what else is on the horizon for you?
Get through this next season, and this bird that I've got, he actually he was horrible in the very beginning. Not horrible, like he's very good mannered bird, but he would have died 1,000% if I did not have him. Like he missed every single opportunity. And it got to the point where I was like really starting to like do some self-reflection of like who's at fault here, you know. And I reached out to Connor Bacalo in California, I think he is. And I talked to him about it for a long time, like asking him questions, and we had just like a really good talk about like these wild birds learning these new skills of chasing game that's running away from them instead of sitting for hours and going on game that's right there, you know, when they have a shot. So this bird, once he finally connected, I about cried. Like I was so happy. I remember the video you can't even like listen to because my voice is like so high pitched, and I'm like, oh my gosh, good job. You know, and it's so funny because we always tell people like birds don't care how you talk to them. Birds aren't emotional. And then he kills his first rabbit, and I'm like, what a good bird. It's so pathetic. But once he did that, then he really started locking in, and I got him on game. He's really been like
on game.
Yeah. I got him, like, he's really been one of my favorite success stories as far as falconry goes. So this season, I'm really looking forward to pushing him, like, to all his limits. And, like, really, I want to make, like, a really good squirrel hawk out of him.
What's he flying at?
He's flying at 750. He's a little guy.
He's a little guy. He's got decent sized feet. He's got great strength. I have had him tethered in gravel though, and so I'm going to end up having to switch him mews, and because I'm not going to deal with dull talons this year, and he's going to lose. What you got to do? Throw some stall mats down.
Oh, good. I like that idea.
That's perfect.
That's perfect. I actually have some in the garage.
Got that from Seth Roy.
That's a good idea.
Stall mats are those like home gym mats that you clip together. Yeah. Those are not as good, but they just
kind of shred a little bit.
Yeah, you got to do something though.
Yeah, the stall mats, they cannot dull their talons on it.
Okay,
they can bait all day.
They'll take the tip off, but yes.
Yeah, you can, because you can like catch it in there, wouldn't it?
There's one thing that's like you can mitigate it, but if they're baiting all day long, you're gonna they're not gonna be razors. But you know what I did last year? Because I had this albitus, and this bird's like you said with the flying into the wall. This bird, I was kind of stupid because I free lofted her like the whole season while I was hawking her, which is like a no with goshawks.
Okay.
So it was like literally like I was like literally like slipping punches walking into my mew every day.
Oh,
but she would jump against the one spot on the door, which is plywood, and her talons were like super dull, and I since patted everything and cleaned it all up. But I would just take a razor knife, and when she's on the glove, and I'm putting the you literally just go on the inside. I forgot who it was. Was it Phil or somebody was giving me? Oh, Paul. You literally just take the razor knife like a fresh blade.
Yeah.
And you just go under the talon and you just slice it straight down and just turn it into like a flat, like straight. And if you got time, you can kind of like bevel it in and make it. But like literally that'll make such a difference. It goes from being like blunt to like a razor in like
that's sweet.
2 strokes of a razor knife on the glove.
I was just gonna get my nail filer out and like give her a picture.
No, I tried the nail file. It takes forever.
Does it really?
Like I grab my wife's nail file, like it takes forever. It doesn't work. You just take a razor knife and you just slice it like right at the tip, like on an angle, and it just you put your finger on it, it'll make you bleed. It's like
does it make their talons like real? Like does it tear up your glove because they're like sharp, sticky, sharp?
Yeah, she doesn't see that particular bird's not very sticky footed at all, so I never really noticed anything. But yeah, it's just that I've noticed that really that's like a pro tip. Like when like your bird's got dull talons and you're in a brush.
I love that. That's
cool. Take a nice sharp razor knife and just.
I'll have Hopefully, I'm going to throw the mat in there and see if that'll help him. Get his
for sure. Put a mat in there. That's what I would do. 100%.
Last season, I just had him in just a ground like grass but dirt mew.
Dirt's good.
Dirt's good
his
too.
His talons were like stellar all season. But this time I moved him because I'm doing some switch around stuff. And now I can already tell his talons are dull.
Yeah. The gravel's nice because it looks nice and it drains and stuff like that. But I've never had a cleaner mew than that was like when I was renting and my landlord wouldn't let me have anything permanent. It was just like a dog kennel that I like tarped in.
Yeah.
And it was just dirt inside.
It's the best.
Like it doesn't even like the microbes like eat the poop.
Yeah.
It's like completely clean, like
it's
spotless.
So natural. And it's like, I know it's ugly. It looks like trash, but it's the best thing for your bird too. Like it's just better for the talons. It's like a better environment for them to breathe too, because nothing's getting caught.
If you can keep it dry, that's another thing. It's one thing if it turns into a mud pit.
Well,
mine was dry and I just.
Mine too.
And even you could see, because Aaron was at my house, you could see the one chamber, like, where the albitus is, like I like almost literally never clean it.
Yeah.
And like, cause it's just dirt and then gravel on top of it.
Yeah.
And like the whole chain, like I haven't cleaned it in like a year. And it's like, just feathers in there, like in the corners.
Yep.
But there's no like the gravel, there's like no slices on it. It's like clean.
It just drops right there.
The one that I put a cement pad and put the pads, that thing is a disgusting mess. I got to go in there like every couple months and like vacuum it out and scrub it. It's like a pain in the neck.
My first mew was like that. I had poured concrete, and I literally would have to get down with a scrub brush and scrub it. And I was like, "This is miserable. Outside in the dirt is the way to go."
And then if you pad the concrete, then you have the risk of mold growing underneath the pads because the water bowl. I just think like if you could do a natural setup where you go down far enough so animals can't dig in. Mm-hmm. That's the way to do it.
Whenever I build another mew, which I want to eventually, but I'm going to do it just like that, where it's going to be like down far enough where animals can't get in, but it's going to be a dirt floor or sand. I know a lot of people like using sand. I haven't ever used it unless it was for the kestrel.
I heard something bad with sand, right, Aaron? Something in the old. I remember shout out to Nick Fox, the Bird of Prey Management series. I don't even know if you can get him anymore. You could probably get him on DVD, but I had him on VHS.
Oh my gosh, that's a treasure.
I literally would just sit there and watch those things as a pre-apprentice, like 12 years old. I would watch them. I literally watched the whole series like 400 times.
Yeah.
And it says something in there about sand.
So sand can trap moisture and then they can get asper from it.
Yeah.
Because you have to filter it and stuff. And
like a cat.
Like a cat. Use a cat super. Yeah.
Yeah. You're better off just doing like 3/4 crushed, with dirt, 3/4 crushed, and then like pea gravel, and just leave it.
Yep, exactly.
And then just go in there and spray it out and let it drain, and the microbes can eat all the poop, and everything's like an ecosystem. And that's the way to do it. That's like the cleanest.
It's like a bird septic system.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because like my bird literally just slices across the gravel all day and night long, and like you can't even, you can see a little bit, but it's not disgusting. It's just a mew.
Yeah.
And I don't have to go in there and go crazy. Yeah. And then another pro tip, Seth Roy pro tip, and this requires a disclaimer: know what you're doing and don't be an idiot. He goes, you just flamethrow it.
Nuh-uh, really?
You go in there, you rake up all the big stuff. Then anything that you can't get, you just flamethrow it with one of those propane flamethrowers, like for doing like
I would set my house on
the weed
fire.
dragon.
Yeah, the flame dragon. You hit the flame dragon on there, and it just incinerates all the little nasty stuff that you can't get to.
That's actually really cool, though.
Spray it down with water, drain it, and it's like brand new every time.
That's pretty cool. I wonder if it'd smell really bad though from like the feathers and the old.
I'm sure
it smells like you're burning a body, but then you just let it air out and spray it down, and it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. It smells really good after the burning body.
Yeah, I have volunteered myself many a time to help Seth out at his place, and it's
everything Seth does is to perfection.
Yeah, and it's perfect. The only problem is that if you crank the propane tank wide open, and you cook that flamethrower on full power, something goes on with the tank where it'll start to crystallize, and you got to keep flipping and shaking the propane tank.
That's always irritating.
I should know as a master plumber why that happens, but I do not know why that happens. It like starts to condensate.
Something about the gases.
Yes, the gases are next to the
smart stuff about the gases.
Yeah, something smart with the gases.
Yeah.
But that is a huge pro tip, but you got to be careful, obviously, because you'll burn your whole mew down.
Yeah, no kidding.
But
melt everything.
So Madison, red-tailed hawk, you said you want to fly Cooper's hawk. Anything else on your bucket list for falconry?
I don't know. I don't really have here in the South, like I don't have a lot of options for different birds, like obviously ideally one day I want to fly a golden eagle like every little falconry kid. Like I used to work with golden eagles. They're my favorite bird of all time. Like I would have to live out west, to do that and like actually pursue that as a lifestyle, because golden eagles are not just, that's like a life partner. I guess as far as like goals go, be flying this bird, getting the dogs set up, watching how they work as a team, really like fine tuning that. And then maybe try Cooper's next year. That's the goal.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you all for having me.
Oh, it was our pleasure. Thank you. Yeah. I like the temperance that you have.
Oh, thank you.
Because like some of us, like myself and others, we just start getting a little excited.
Goshawks.
Just, I got to get rid of this goshawk. I'll take it. Oh, I got a red shoulder. Oh, I'll take it. Like, it's just like we start like thinking we can do everything all at once. And I think just focus on like one or two birds at a time and really getting everything dialed in. That's probably the best route to go.
It really has been my favorite thing about this past season. Like it's been one of my favorite seasons, which I say that every year because I just always have so much that I enjoy with falconry. But this year specifically with just having a bird that was not successful and then creating a successful bird and really putting in the time and the effort and the patience and, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of arguments with myself, trying to figure things out, talking to other people, reaching out. It just taught me so much. Like I felt so at peace, even when I wasn't catching game, which, in the past, like I've been like you, like when the bird misses, I'll be like, oh my gosh, what the fuck's wrong with you? I hate you. You're just a piece of shit. And
smashing yourself in the head with a stick and just going
screaming,
crazy. Throwing stuff.
No, I've definitely lost my temper at birth before. But this year, I like really decided I wasn't going to be that way, that I was going to like enjoy the whole process of it. And I did. And I was like, I felt like a better falconer at the end of the season. I was like, you know what? I really did something here. Like I really pushed through and stuck with the same bird. I could have thrown him back, but I knew he was going to die. Like my heart's just too big. I care too much. So
just too nice.
You're just too nice to those.
I'm just too nice. So
to
I
that 70% percentile that was going to die.
For real.
So when you trapped him, not to drag this on, but but when you trapped him, so he was like on death's door basically when you trapped him?
Yeah, like he was real thin in his keel, and he started eating like the third day and he was flying outside on the crayons in a week and a half.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So but he couldn't catch game for like 2 months.
Yeah.
And I was hunting almost every single day with him. And every single time we hunted, we put up game. So I never had a hunting time where he didn't see game and he didn't know like what we were trying to do. That was what was really frustrating about him missing constantly.
Yeah.
But it really was just him like learning a new skill and learning like this is what the game is. And then once it clicked, you know?
Just like Connor said, it's the timing. They're not chasing rabbits running full speed through the woods.
Right. They've never even tried to do that.
Yeah, that's not what they're doing. They're waiting for a rabbit to come out and start feeding.
They move this much, a little movement as they're eating grass, and then they dive at them.
Yeah, they're not, cooking through the woods or a squirrel doing backflips. It's not
doing somersaults through the trees and stuff.
Some of them take a little time to get the timing down, but once they get, like you said, like you saw, once they get the timing down, then it's like, they're very adaptable.
You can see it in the bird too. Like I remember his face when he got his first kill, he looked at me like, oh my gosh, did you see this? And every time he would miss, he would like jump up to the glove and we would both look at each other like, thank God you're with me, because you would be so dead if you weren't with me.
Yeah. When my birds miss, I just throw. No,
I just strangled them really hard.
I just give them the windmill and throw them back in the box. No, I'm just kidding.
Alrighty, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
It's a joke, everybody.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you, Madison, for coming. Thank you.